To see disease progression, we have to look at the same patient at multiple points in time. I'll take these 3 studies and pretend it's the same patient, which is clearly not. So let me bring up the first study. And while it's bringing it up, I'll pause the recording. Okay, it's bringing it up. And since it has a brown fat, it will also bring up that as well. Here it is. Now let me reposition things a bit for convenience. Move this up to a position. Now I can start to look at this study. If I want to see all the regions, here they are. But I want to see a particular organ. I want to see this organ. Okay. So I'll ask not to show all, but to track. I'll go through tracking. Okay, you can see it's number 13. Okay, and I'll do something in addition. I'll ask to see this in a slightly zoom mode. And even something more, I'll ask to see the 3 view. Move this down. So here I've got my first study in front of me in the format which is convenient for me. The next thing I'll do is bring up the next study. We started with this one, so the next one is this. I'll ask to bring it up, and again pause. Okay, it's coming up, and when it comes up, these numbers will be replaced by the numbers from this study. So you'll see a change in these numbers. And let's just bring up finishing the data here. The values have changed, and the study which is being shown in blue dots, and the previous study is in yellow. So I can what is showing in this brown fat is always the blue, and the old studies are yellow. Okay, let's do the same trick here. And again, if I want to see all the regions, and I'm interested in something in this area. So not to show all. And I'll go through until it gets down to the place I want to, the same organ, quote unquote, which one look at here. Okay, this is the same organ here as here. We make believe at least. Okay, now I would like to go back. Since the blue dots are showing here, I'd like to go back and see these again. So to switch the brown fat volume between these 2 studies, I first click on the study I want to have showing, and then I click on the brown fat. I could click here and here. Okay, let's just pick a random place to click. I'll pick something in the arm, which is really crazy. Now you can see that this is way off, and when I click, it will jump back to the position of the red dot because I have this tracking on. And in fact, there are better ways to do this. When I want to go from one to another, instead of picking a random position, the best thing to do is pick the title bar. If I click this and click, now the blue dots are here. This is connected to here. And if I want to go back to here, I would again click on the title bar and click here. And you can see the numbers change and the blue dots change. But since I've clicked on the arm, obviously my sagittal is way off, my coronal is off as well. So if I want to see something reasonable, I could click on here. Now I've got the red dot showing in all three views, and this is what I want to do. But there's something even better. The red dot, there's nothing magic about the red dot. You want to look at the organ at the position you want to look at it, not this red dot business. So I'll turn off this tracking. And I'll go back to this one. And nothing has changed because if I've clicked on here and I've turned off the tracking. Now I can go back to here. Now in this case, maybe I want in fact to go to the 3 view. Look, go through the tumor, and when I click here, click on the brown fat, it remains where I've chosen. It's not on the red dot anymore. It's the position in the organ which I want to check, not where the red dot happens to be. So the best thing to do is always to click on the title bar and to change. And here I can click either here or here. Makes no difference. I click here, you'll transfer back, transfer here. If I click here, it will also transfer back. So I have complete freedom on, depending on what I'm working with. If I'm working with the 3 view, then it's obviously more convenient to click on the 3 view. Okay, now the next thing I want to do is bring up my final study. And this one, you can see by its color code, has no previous analysis. So I'll click on this, and I'll click to read, and pause. Okay, now it's bringing up this, and now you will see this. The position of the blue dots does not change because this particular study does not have an analysis. There's nothing to change to. Okay, it's come up, it's spinning around, but the blue dots remain here, and the yellow dots remain here. The meaning is this is the last study I looked at. Now if I click on this, let me put up this, stop the thing. The rotation. If I click on this and then click here, you will see this value changes to 0. Okay? And both of these are yellow. So this would be the blue dots if there were a previous analysis. Since there's no previous analysis, it's all 0. And since there is no previous analysis, I can do one at the moment. If I click on the Nifty, I can do an analysis on this study, and you can see the button is active. The first thing I'll do is use the limitations of the construction, because the biggest time saver of all is defining where you want to do the search. I'm not doing a search in any area of this, so it's much faster. I'll click the run and pause. Okay, now it's doing the second part of the calculation, the growing of the regions. And when it's done, you will see here how much time it took. And you will see the blue dots here. Here it's coming out. This is the final stage. And here are my blue dots. Let's go back to the Roy. In case I want to know which one I'm dealing with, there's always this other tab. This other tab says which one I'm working with. This is COULA, which is written here. This is the Nifty, which I was using. Let's go back to the Roy. And I can ask to see all the regions. And again, this is the one I'm interested in. So let's not show all. I can ask to see the axial to be consistent. And this is the region I'm interested in. So in this one, on this study, I think it was region 13. This was region 10. And this is now region 3. Okay. Now what I should do is actually, since I've just done this calculation, I should actually save it. I'll save it. Oops, it says, okay, in most cases I should use the SOV values. So I don't want to use this. I want to check the use SUV. In many cases this is 41%, but in this particular example I'm using 2. Okay, now I'll say save. Now we'll save it for me. And if I go back to this, you can see now it's changed from a red entry to a purple entry to indicate that this has a calculation for it. Okay, now again in general, if I go from study to study, I want to turn off this this tracking business. Over here, and you can see that the blue dots will follow what I tracked on, what I asked to. And here I asked for the 3 view, not for this, not for the main. Okay, now suppose we want to do the next region. In this case, I want to turn the tracking back on. And if I want to, let me use this. The next region, suppose this. Okay, now let's go to here. Okay, again, pretend this is a different organ. I don't think I have one to track. Let's see. No, I don't. I can do something different. Obviously, it's totally not even close to the same organ, but the idea is when you're changing which organ you want to look at, in that case you want to turn the tracking back on. And when you're looking within the organ, then you turn the tracking off, and you can click back and forth without changing any points. Okay, and this is essentially what I wanted to show.